Hey guys, welcome to our first ever in the history of the world, our first Sunday night live, and pretty excited about it. You know, here's what our goal is. Our goal is to connect, right? And so I want to welcome everybody to the chat, whether you're on Rumble or YouTube. And I can see already we've got some of the great folks that are a part of Potential. We got Amy and Gabby and Eric and Maria. And if you have questions, Susanna, right? She's looking forward to the stream. But if y'all have any questions, just let me know what they are. Put them up on the chat, and we'll do our best to get to it. Eric, thank you. Today, actually, if you've yet to hear today's teaching, we talked about money. And we talked about the impact that it actually has on marriage. And I have a special guest that I'm going to talk to in just a little bit about that very thing. My beloved wife, Steph, is here, and she's going to join me in a few minutes. And we're going to talk about, well, there was actually a time in our marriage. We've been married for how long? 35 years, almost 35. July 15th be 35 years. And there was a time when when I paid the bills. And she'll tell a little bit more about that in just a moment. But I want to welcome my producers that are joining me today. Can you guys put up a shot of yourselves? Pastor Tyler.
Yes. What is going on?
Pastor Nick.
Tyler.
Right there.
Tyler. Oh, he's back there. He's back there.
He's right back there.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I want to know, are there any other parents that have a hard time remembering the names of their children?
And even not their children.
You know what? There are times when I've called Bailey Harley.
Your daughter.
No, you know what? I don't know if I've ever called Bailey Harley. I've called Harley Bailey. And we do have Harley here today. She's on set right there in front of me. Now, we're going to do a whole lot of different things. We're going to answer your questions. So if you've got some questions, put them in the chat. And if we don't get to them, put them back in there again. And we'll do the best we can to answer as many of them. And we're going to have some fun along the way because that's our goal. Our goal is to develop a sense of community. We've got our podcast, we have our broadcast, we have our live online service going on. So Brad Daughtry. Hey, so anyways, be sure any questions that you got, we'll get to those in just a few moments. Now, to start us off today, first of all, I wanted to say, what do you guys think about our set? All right, can you give me a wide shot of our set? I've got my own logo. Is that not impressive? And can you guys get a shot of Miss Jessica Gramling? Woo! She is the one that put all this together. Can y'all give her a big hand? No. Nick, give us a big hand. You gotta. Producers, we're gonna have to do a run through before the next Sunday Night Live. All right, so we wanted to start out to have a little game, have you guys play with us in the chat, all right? And we're going to do first we're going to do, I guess, Google trending topics, right? So in just a moment, I'm going to look at what is trending on Google, and I'm going to give you a pastor's perspective. Now, I've not seen these, so I have no idea what is trending on Google. And our fine producer, you guys ready? What's that?
But we have a little video.
Oh,
for people to see.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yes.
I am sorry because this is tea with tea.
With PT.
With
Absolutely.
Tea with PT. In other
go.
words, we're going to sit down over some tea and we're going to look at the Google trending topics. But before we do, this is the way it's going to start each week. So what do you think about our little jingle? Our little jingle there. All right, let's go, guys. Let's go to the topics and get a pastor's perception of these topics. Now, you know what? I'm telling you guys are going to have to tell me what some of these are because I'm not going to have any idea what some of them are. For example, I have no idea what the first one is.
I don't know what that is either.
Put it in the chat if you even know what that is. All right, what about the second one?
Man City, that's Manchester City, the soccer team. Ooh. I know you've got strong opinions when it comes to the sport of soccer.
Yes. I am amazed at how popular soccer is. And I'm also amazed at how much those guys get paid. I think
Yes.
the guys that make the most professional athletes are soccer. Isn't that true?
I think soccer is actually the highest.
most, the highest.
the highest paid sport.
And I guess
Most money.
Man City, did they win something?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you can
but
click
I know
on
that's
it.
a soccer team.
You can click on it.
Click on it. Let's see what it says. It's in a different language.
It's in Spanish. Translator.
Translator.
All right. Hey, let's go to number 3 because I do know what that is.
Okay.
Jimmy Carter. Now, I don't know why he's on there because he passed away several months ago, as well as his wife. 1 year mark since entering. Is he not passed away? Well, let's click that. Let's click that on. I thought that he had passed
1 year mark.
since entering hospice. It's very powerful. Carter chose to intervention last February and spent the remaining time at home with family. His public journey, experts say, has changed the narrative about the end-of-life care. Keep going. When President Jimmy Carter announced that he had begun receiving hospice last February, the world prepared to say goodbye. But 12 months later, the longest-lived president has handedly beat the public prognosis, continuing to watch sports on TV, share moments with his grandkids, and shape his gargantuan legacy from the comfort of his longtime Plains, Georgia home. Jimmy's time in hospice has been unforeseen blessing for the Carters. His grandson, Jason, told People in September, both because there's been so much additional time that we've all gotten to spend together, but also because it's given us the ability to reflect on our personal relationship and experience an outpouring of love for him around the world. Did it say how old he was? 99? Wow, I wonder when his birthday is. Ooh, October to get to be 100. That would be incredible. I remember when Jimmy Carter was president. I was a senior in high school the year Reagan won and beat Jimmy Carter as he was going for his second term in office. But anyways, that is pretty incredible. Jimmy Carter was he talked about being a born-again believer when he went into the White House. That was a big deal, the terminology, born again. And so anyways, I do know that one. Do we have the rest? Do we have a couple more up there? All right, let's go to number 4. Whoops, they changed. Number 3 is now the Indiana Hoosiers basketball team. And I do know a lot about them because they were at one time coached by the legendary Bobby Knight, who has passed away. He's no longer with us. A whole lot said about him. Pennsylvania State. Boy, this is not much of a list. The wrestling team made it to Google's top trends. Let's see what else we got. Oh, you changed it again.
We have some extra producers who are making some.
Go back. Susan Wall. How do you say that?
Wichachachaki.
Isn't she who? Oh, she's the YouTube. Oh, wow. A tragedy. Let's read that. Let's go up. See what happened. All right. It's every parent's worst nightmare. This week, the 19-year-old son of former YouTube CEO. Oh, my goodness. The drug overdose. You know, that's the sad thing about that is no matter how much money you got, drugs and addiction seem to attract and impact so many families. And so we want to pray for her. I can't imagine what that feels like and what you have to deal with. And while I know there's lots of different opinions about her leadership at YouTube and the decisions that she made while she was there, I imagine everybody is thinking about her and, of course, praying for her and her family as they deal with that incredible loss. So we're going to spend some time each week just kind of looking at the trends and see what's going on in the world. Maybe one day we'll make it to the trends. What do you think?
We just may.
Amen.
So
I'm ready for that day.
I don't know exactly what you have to do to make it there, but anyways. So if you've got a question, be sure and leave us a question. Ask Carmen says that baseball has the highest paid athletes. Really? What's the baseball player who pitches and hits? He just signed like a.
I forget his name. He's like Japanese or something.
He just signed a big contract. Somebody in the chat may know. You're right. You're right, Eric. Addiction is challenging. You know, one of the things we're working on is a ministry to those who struggle with different addictions and challenges, because it can be something as deadly as a drug overdose, but also food. Right, takes the lives of a lot of people. So we're working on that. Eric, that is the correct name. I'm just not sure exactly how to say. I'm not exact. Otani, right? He signed somebody look it up. He signed a huge. Roxana says that Messi has the biggest contract. So let's see. In the chat, put a 1 if you think Otani has the biggest contract. Put a 2 if you think Messi has the biggest contract. Who do you think has the biggest contract? All right. Otani in baseball or Messi in soccer. Okay. What is it? Oh, right here it is. Major League Soccer, who released player salaries this season, $12 million of guaranteed compensation, almost $20 million per season, and that's Messi.
That's Messi.
Yeah,
almost
that's
$20
Messi.
million.
Yeah.
And then
that's Otani.
Otani is a 710-year. 10 year, and he deferred. Wouldn't you like to be wealthy enough that you can defer?
Now, most people, the chat, majority of people have been saying 2, which you said was Messi. But in fact,
They'd be wrong.
they would be wrong
Yeah.
Yes, they'd be wrong
by quite a few
bit.
margins.
Quite a margin. Roxana was right, because she said baseball was the highest paid contract. Can you imagine being wealthy enough, though, that you can defer $680 million?
No.
To the end of it, and I deferred. I read an article to the end of his contract. So he's going to 10 years. He's not going to take $680 million, and then it's going to come in. I don't know if he's married, but I bet he will be by the end of those 10 years.
That is very true.
All right. Hello from the seas, Larry Duncan III from the honeymoon cruise. How are Mr. and Mrs. Duncan? For those of you who don't know, last Friday, Tyler and myself officiated our, not our daughter, but my wife and I, our daughters. Our last remaining single child is now married. So now we just wait for a multitude of grandkids, but not too many at one time, I don't think. All right. Hey, guys, don't forget, we are glad you are here. If you've not checked out our podcast, we have a podcast that drops every Thursday at 8 o'clock in the morning. And our goal with that is to just talk with interesting people. You know, we're not just talking about one subject. We've talked about jewelry. We've talked about baking. We've talked about architecture. We've talked to professional athletes. We really talk to everybody. So if you've yet to check that out, let me encourage you to do that. And you know what? Jess got it right. It was baseball. Most everybody else got it wrong. But anyways, in just a moment, Steph's going to join me, and we're going to talk a little bit about marriage and the impact that money can have on marriage. But before we do, I wanted to show you, we're not going to do it today, but one of the things we're going to do, well, let's play Pastor's Playground, and then we'll talk about what it's going to be in the coming weeks. Oh, back to me. All right. Anyways, here's what we're going to do. We're going to challenge our pastor. We're going to put a little obstacle course just outside of our studio here. This amazing studio, by the way. Woo! Amazing studio. We're going to put a little obstacle course. Okay, that's good. The crowd here is wild. Hey, if you want to join our live studio audience, email me, troy@troygramling.com. Email me at troy@troygramling.com, and we'll save you a seat, won't we, guys?
Absolutely. 100%.
We got a great seat.
We will.
Great seat. Anyways, we're going to put a little obstacle course just outside of the studio, and then we're going to have some of our guests, because we have different guests. We're not going to ask Pastor Steph to do it this time. And we're going to have some of our pastors run the obstacle course. Not going to be that difficult, just going to be fun. Then we're going to chart who does it the fastest, all right? So we're going to see which pastor or which guest has the best time and what we're calling the pastor's playground. That's going to be a lot of fun along the way. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about marriage. My wife is going to join me, and while she does, let me show you a little bit about what we got going on the weekend.
Hi, honey.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
Live. We're back live, and look who I've got with me. There, pull the mic just a little bit closer to you. We want everybody to hear what you got to say. Now, Steph and I are here, and our goal is to talk, each week we want to talk a little bit about some of the things that we deal with in life. And right now we're in a series about relationships and marriage. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. If you have a question, all right, please keep Pastor Carson off the course. All right. Eric, we will do that.
Yes.
All right. Because he
is injured.
He's accident prone. And you know what's interesting about Pastor Carson is that he always gets injured right before he's supposed to do something really important.
Isn't that funny?
Because remember, at Thanksgiving, he tore his calf playing football
because
he's supposed to teach that weekend.
Yeah.
And then playing pickleball, he tore it again.
Yeah.
The day before the wedding.
He did.
So it might be psychological.
It absolutely is not 100%. I can confirm that in fact is false.
All right. So Jess asked, who do we want to see on the pastor's playground? And Tyler says Leslie and Nick.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I'm ready.
We'll see who does the first one and gets us our best time that everybody kind of has to compete against. We might do that next week. We'll see. We'll see what the weather does. But anyway, Steph, I thought you and I would spend a little bit of time talking. This weekend we talked about finances. We talked about the impact. It's according to psychology today.
Yeah.
It's one of the main reasons that people end up divorced.
Yeah.
So when you think back, 34 and almost 35
yeah.
years ago is a long time ago. But what do you remember about the early days of our finances?
I think you'd shared earlier that you used to do the finances early on.
What do you remember about me doing the finances?
For a very, very short time. Now I'm like, how in the world how did we decide that? I don't remember how we decided that. But anyway, what I remember is one day, this was back when, you didn't have like direct deposit, and you forgot to deposit our check, our check. And that was a big deal because we had bills coming out and that kind of thing. And, in my mind, I was like, how in the world can you forget to deposit a check? And I think that's when I realized, you know what? He may not be able to do this. I might need to take this over.
And it's not like we probably didn't have a lot of extra money.
No, we didn't.
Did anything bounce? Do you remember?
It probably did. I don't remember, but I'm sure it probably did.
And they get you, right? Because when something bounces,
you have to pay the fees.
Because you don't have money in the bank anyways, or it wouldn't have bounced. And then they charge you money, and then the place where it bounces charges you money, and you just get further and further into the hole.
Yeah.
It creates stress. Do you remember how you responded when I forgot to put the check in? Were you kind?
Not good. I remember I was, because I was teaching. So I was at school, and
you were out making money.
I was making money.
Probably.
And you were forgetting to.
I was probably trying to start a church.
Yeah, probably so. I can't remember for sure what you were doing, but it wasn't like anything. Like you could have gone to the bank and deposited the check. But yeah, it was. I don't think I responded too great to that.
So, anyways, but we talked about it.
We did,
right? And you're more of a right person to do that.
Yep.
And you've been doing that. We do it, we talk about major expenditures
right.
and giving
Yeah.
and all those things together. We have one account.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. I think, well, can you bring up, Mr. Producer Carson, can you bring up the one from, I think it's the one from Bank America, maybe, Marriage and Money, the 10 tips. Yeah. And if you guys see there, let's go to tip. I think if it's in this article, it's tip number 1. And I was kind of amazed because this is Bank of America. If it's not this one, it's the other one. Whoops. No, go to the other one then. This one is by Investopedia. It's the top 6 marriage killing money issues. Pull that one up because I was amazed. Look at what number 1 is on this. How to prevent, go back. Go back down a little bit. How to prevent financial stressors from damaging your relationship. And what's the first one? Keep going. Yes. Failing to pool earnings. And I think that is so true. I think, and especially from a biblical context, because the Bible talks about 2 becoming 1. And what better way to do that than the thing that we value the most, right? There's the sexual intimacy part, but the financial aspect.
Yeah.
And, if you've got your money and I've got mine, then, who makes the most really matters. And then you got to divide the bills and who's going to pay what.
Seems a whole lot more complicated, and can cause a lot more issues and stress and tension in the marriage when it's not truly one.
Yeah, even, when we were doing different things, you're teaching school and I'm trying to start a church and we were doing paper routes and all kinds of stuff in those early days to survive. But putting it all in one place so that when we communicate, we're not communicating about who's going to pay what.
Right.
We're just talking about how are we going to move forward.
Right.
And what are we going to spend our money on.
Yeah.
And
we do, really quick, don't want to interrupt, but we do have a question in the chat. Rebecca asked, does having one account lead to difficult conversations with how each person is spending money?
I think it does, right?
Yeah.
But it forces the conversation,
conversation.
which I think
Exactly.
is a good thing, because you want to be together
Yeah.
in what you're doing. And because I think, too, you can celebrate. When you get credit cards paid off and you get out of debt and whether you invest money here or you purchase a home or whatever you're doing, you're kind of doing it together.
Right.
So I do think it creates conversations because if you only got, I think it took me probably a little longer than you, that you might look in the bank account and say, where'd that money go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'd say, well.
But I think one of the things we've tried to do early on, I think we had to kind of figure it out, when we first got married, but we do talk about, even the not so big money decisions, if you're going to spend on something or if I am, we have those conversations about it, beforehand to make sure, we're both on the same page. And no, we didn't, when we first got married, it took us, we had to kind of get there.
Right, where you go from being your own person to
Right.
then, being one.
Yeah.
And I think it leads to really productive communication.
Yeah.
I mean, and because conflict, I think, is necessary in order to have intimacy.
Right.
Because that's how we discover.
Conflict can be a good thing if
Yeah.
it's dealt with in the right way. Yeah.
Because your parents dealt with money differently than
Right.
my parents, and that impacts.
Yeah.
What's I'm putting you on the spot. This really doesn't have a lot to do with money, but what's the best gift I've ever given you?
Oh goodness. Because you're a great gift giver.
Can I tell you what I think my greatest gift is to you?
You can, and I'll tell you if you're right.
No, I remember years ago when I surprised you.
I thought you were going to say that. With
you
flying
agree?
my family, and that would be at the very top. That, and then when you got me my new ring, wedding ring.
Yes, I'm
'Cause
still
I think
paying. I'm still paying.
I think
for
I
that.
lost the
Yes,
original
you did.
one.
you lost your original one.
And you were so kind to get me another one many years later.
Yes,
Yeah.
probably a decade.
But no, that would probably be my top because it was a complete surprise and flew the whole family in, and that was
came
really
to
good.
because you really didn't know, did you?
I had no idea. It was a total shock.
That was so much fun. They
Yeah.
came and knocked on the door,
Yeah.
and we had. I mean, you know what I mean. We hadn't been here that long, and
Yeah.
and I'd been a long time since we've been back to Arkansas to see your family.
Yeah.
And I remember.
No,
being,
that was a great gift. But you're a great gift giver. You're good at that.
Yes. Well, I think and gifts. A lot of times, they don't have to cost anything other than maybe time or
Right.
thinking through, and those kind of things when it comes. What do you think has been some of our when it comes to our relationship? What's some of the bigger challenges in the early days that we faced? I have a few things that jump into my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, looking back, I think I tend to be one that holds things in, so I think dealing with conflict quickly, which is your natural instinct. You like to, if there's a problem, there's an issue, you want to deal with it right then. It took me a while to get there. I like to process things, but sometimes the processing goes on too long, and then you kind of internalize it. And so I think for me, it was, I think, dealing with not letting that just sit there and fester and grow, but dealing with it quickly so that so there's not that wall, that barrier there, in our relationship.
Really quick, we have a question coming in from Eric Blanco. Well, first off, the chat's talking a whole lot about how FPU, Financial Peace University, has helped a lot of them have these kinds of conversations. But Eric Blanco says, how do each of you surprise each other without the other one questioning where the money went or actually seeing it spent in the account statement?
Well, that's easy for Steph because I never look at the account statement.
Yeah, it is easy.
But I have to be a lot more sneaky.
Yeah.
So, like, I always like it if, like, I go speak somewhere and I
You
get
have some extra money.
I
put
get some
aside.
money that you don't know about,
Yeah.
and then I can. I don't know if that's. I don't know that I would advise you
Money.
to do it that way.
Money
Be
she doesn't know
sneaky.
about. That's interesting. That's an interesting phrase there.
Yes, money that, but so that she doesn't know, because if
Yeah.
not, she can look. She
Yeah.
wouldn't know what she was getting, but she'd know how much it cost.
Yeah.
And that kind of takes the fun out of it, because when your parents can, I don't remember how I did that. I don't remember where I got the money.
I don't know either. I didn't ask.
But I just, because, but anyways.
But that is challenging.
Yes.
For me, because I am the one that sees the bank statement and kind of manages that and on. So it's hard for you to, you do have to be a little bit sneaky, I guess, in a sense.
Yes. But at Christmas time, Steph just doesn't ask.
I don't ask.
Yeah.
And I try not to look.
She pretends like she doesn't see
Yeah.
it. All right. I mean, there's a limit, of course. I
Yeah.
mean, neither one of us would spend, a lot of money without
Right.
having a conversation
Yeah.
about it, and then having a conversation as we get, at church we do Temple Centurion, which is above and beyond, and Greatest Gift, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
all kind. We really believe that giving is an opportunity.
Yeah.
But we always talk about that and
Yeah,
pray
make those
through that.
decisions
And again,
together.
it brings a oneness and a wrestling,
Yeah.
and how much sacrifice is going to be involved in this gift, and what does that mean, and how does that affect each one of us, and those kind of things. So I think that's important
Yeah.
along the way. So I think number one on Investopedia is right on. Let's see what the other ones are. Mr. Producer there. Dealing with old debts that you bring in to the marriage. Yes, like student loans.
Yeah. that was the first one there. Yeah.
I didn't even have to look.
We both brought in me a little bit more
Yes,
than you,
yes.
and we did finally get them paid off. Though.
Yeah, it's just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Just a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I think that's an important conversation.
Yeah.
You don't want to surprise
Right.
people. But again, I just think it's so important. I never, we didn't think about it, your dad or my dad, or we really just thought we're becoming one.
Yeah.
So whatever debt you have, whatever debt I might have, we're going to deal with those
Yeah.
together. personality, I think is true, right? You know, some
Yeah.
people are spenders, some people are savers. You know, like you said, some folks want to deal with conflict immediately.
Yeah.
And again, money is something that is such high value, it creates conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
See what else they got. Whoops. Power plays often occur in one of four scenarios. One partner has a paid job and the other doesn't. Both partners would like to be working, but one is unemployed. One spouse earns considerably more than the other. One partner comes from a family that has money and the other doesn't. And again, those can all be issues, but I really think it's about the conversation.
Yeah,
Because,
just
you know,
talking through it.
we may have violent conversations about my driving,
We may.
but
Occasionally,
but
yeah.
we really don't about that.
No.
And I was trying to think, you know, I think early on we had stress over money,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
especially because I had a lot of medical bills early on, you know, that even when I was playing basketball after we were
Right.
married, and
Injuries,
we had to deal with that.
Yeah.
But we always dealt with those things together.
Yeah, I had the conversation.
There is a question coming in from Dan50 on Rumble. He asks, who should be the main decision maker in finances if only one person is earning?
Go ahead.
I mean, I still think it's a mutual decision, you know, the marriage relationship, the two becoming one. So, you know, I think regardless, it's, you know, it's, because there's been seasons in my life where, you know, when the kids were little, in certain seasons where I stayed at home. So I wasn't bringing home money, but that was our money. Right. You know, we didn't see it as, you know, it was your money because I wasn't making money. You know, I was taking care of the kids.
Right.
So I guess technically I was, you know, I had a job.
Nobody said you didn't.
I just didn't get paid for it.
Nobody said you didn't.
But I think that's, you know, I think that's part of the, you know, strengthening the marriage relationship is, you know, that it's the two become one. And so it's not about, you know, who's earning and who's not or who's earning more. It's, you know, it's about, it's our money.
Yeah, I think whoever's got the job, whoever's making the most, it's their responsibility to make sure that they do not bring it up. Like, I
Right.
don't think I ever brought that
No.
up, you know,
No.
that, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Because, I think, you know, Steph and I have always seen what we're running after as a team. And there was a season when that meant, you know, you felt that your role was to stay home with the kids.
Yeah.
But that was important with the kids at the age that they were and trying to start a church. And that's the way we did that,
Right.
you know? So it's always been a team effort,
Right.
whether
that was
you,
a decision we made together.
right,
Yeah.
right. So it wasn't, our financial stress really hasn't been about what you're going to do or what I'm going to do. It's just been,
The financial.
yeah,
The finances,
you know,
yeah.
where are we going to,
Yeah.
find the money,
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? To buy the diapers and
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, before you go, let's go to the other article and see if we agree with Bank of America. All right, so it was interesting here. They give yourself a financial checkup. You know, we got married young, so, you know,
did.
didn't have a lot of baggage
No.
or money experience. Understand your partner's debt. We talked about that. Save for the wedding and beyond. Yeah.
Yes.
I guess, you know, if you're getting again, depends on when you're getting married
Yeah.
too. You know, if you're getting married young, you just have less time to save.
Right.
We have a very interesting question coming in from Rebecca. She says, how do you feel about prenups, especially second marriage with children from the first marriage?
I mean, I have a strong opinion about prenups
Yeah, I know. And you've talked about it before. And yeah, I feel the same way.
because again, I think the goal is to become one.
Yeah.
And I think I understand, right? I understand you know, it's like any risk. You know, you're going to start a business. It's always harder to do the more that you have
Yeah.
because you could lose it, right? You enter into a relationship later in life or when you've got the responsibility of other children and those kind of things.
Yeah.
There's a risk involved in that. But to me, the potential for marriage to be one and the joy that it offers is that I don't want to say I do unless I can totally go into it trusting that person is totally committed.
Right. And I think that's the trust is the whole thing, you know. I think it's hard to start the marriage without that trust, with saying that you need a prenup.
Right, because that's basically saying what you're going to do with it's like, they say, what do they say? You burn the boats. You get to the new place and you burn the boats so that you can't go back. And a prenup is, keeping a boat in the harbor. If things don't work out, and there's no, it's going to impact, I think, the amount of effort you put into the marriage. As to know we've got to figure this out. We've got to work through this. And I think even on the front end, it makes you get to know that person maybe with greater depth.
Yeah.
The more you have to lose.
Right.
I mean, again, when we were getting married at 20 and 22, we didn't have a lot to lose.
No, we didn't.
But if later in life you've got more to lose, so you want to make sure that you know that person. I think dating and premarital counseling and all that stuff becomes so much more important, because you don't want to find yourself out of the marriage and trying to take care of some kids or something, without the support of your spouse. All right, so let's get these real quick. Create a budget you both can live by. That makes sense. Again, it's a conversation, it's communication. Decide who manages what. That was an important one for us. And we decided that you're a
Made
better
that decision.
that you're a better one at that. And then to combine, and even in here, Bank of America deals with this, to combine or not combine. It's a big one, and I just encourage anybody who's watching, combine. Force yourself to have the difficult conversations to combine. But anyways, those are just some different things, because we all deal with it, right? And who you choose to do life with is going to determine how you deal with the stress of finances and money, because we all are going to deal with it. And it's just so much fun. Like, Stephanie, you're working on this investing thing, and I have no idea what you're doing. When you tell me about the hardest part for me is Steph will get real excited and she'll start telling me what she's doing, and I have no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm excited that I feel part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was a conversation. Even before, when I first started thinking about it, I brought you into the conversation, and hey, what do you think about this? And so I feel like, even though I'm the one I feel like we are doing it together. It's our money, and we're doing this together.
Yeah. We got another question coming in from YouTube. Isabella, she asks, as someone who is just starting their career, what advice would you give financially to set the tone for future relationships?
Something.
Say the question one more time.
It is, where to go? Okay, as someone who is just starting their career, what advice would you give financially to set the tone for future relationships? So you've got someone who's early on, I assume it's someone, this person's young, they're starting their career, and they want to prepare financially for when the time comes for, marriage and all of that. So what advice would you give to that person?
Go ahead.
Me. What do you
read it again?
The question is,
I was looking at the
as
comment.
someone who is just starting their career, what advice would you give financially to set the tone for future relationships?
Yeah, again, wise decisions. The stronger you are financially going into the relationship, the better you're going to be. You know what I mean? If you're able to bring savings into the relationship, that's just going to move you forward. If you're older and you have a home, right? That's something that can be sold. That's something you can move into. Just make wise decisions. Sometimes when we're young, it's easy to think we're going to have forever to produce income or to get a savings or a retirement or whatever it is. I just think the earlier we can make good financial decisions, the better. And we've experienced that because we haven't always made good decisions, and we've had to fight out of the hole, and that's now fun and not easy to do. So I just think make as many wise financial decisions as you can. Like we got financial peace that we talked about, a financial planner.
So many resources.
So many resources out there. That's just a great way to start.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, if you got any other questions, just drop them in the chat, whether you're on Rumble or on YouTube. We would love to answer those questions. Now, we got a little bit more time before we sign off, and we wanted to let you know that just around the corner in the month of March, we've got an apologist coming.
We do.
And when you say that word, sometimes people think somebody who's going to apologize for, being a Christian.
Yeah.
But it's really just the opposite, right? It's somebody who is going to answer a lot of the questions that people have when it comes to questions atheists ask, you might say. His name is Sean McDowell, and, we've got a little clip here we want to show you.
Why is the existence of God the ultimate question? What makes that question so much more consequential in your mind than any other question?
So what is apologetics? Let's just have a simple definition. Apologetics is the theological discipline of offering a defense for the Christian faith.
This is the big question. How do we love our neighbor? Why are people suffering? Why is there division? Why is there evil and suffering in the world?
We'll do a couple. Let's see. All right, guys. Steph, let's give it up for Steph Gramling. Yes, she is incredible. And if you want to be a part of the studio audience, just email me at troy@troygramling.com, and we'll make sure we save you a seat. Now, it's rambunctious here at the old studio, so you'll have to come with your seatbelt on. But we would love to have you in the studio as long as we have room. In just a moment, I'm going to announce the winner. On our podcast that we drop every Thursday at 8 a.m. and we're going to give away a 2-night stay at a Marriott branded hotel in your location, wherever you might be located. And so we're going to announce that in just a moment. Before we do, we got one last thing we wanted to do. I wanted to compete against the chat. And what are we calling this? What's this called?
This is called What Is That?
What is that? So they're going to show us an image, and we're going to see. It's a movie, right?
Correct.
It's a movie, a recent movie?
It varies. You have seen all of them, though.
I have?
You have.
I've seen it.
You've seen it.
All right. So
Probably.
they're going to show us a movie, and we're going to see whether I or those of you in the chat actually get it right. So,
All right. So here is the first one.
So once you think you know what it is, just put it in the chat. All right. I think it's Avatar.
Wow. We
kinda
have
crazy.
a legend.
That is.
Is that right?
We have a
that is-
legend.
that is
'cause
correct.
in fact,
Yes.
is
You know why I guessed that?
Why?
Because the blue.
Ah,
That's the only thing.
that's pretty safe.
boom.
I think I know. I got it. Did anybody else even get it in the chat? No.
They did
Carly.
late. They did late.
Carly did. That's Wizard of Oz, Courtney.
Okay.
All right, let's
We will go on to the next one.
see. So I want somebody to try to beat me.
Now, keep in mind, PT, there is a delay from what Stream is saying to. Okay, yeah, I figured
What
you
do
wouldn't
you-
care.
why'd you have to
He's
do
a
that?
winner. I figured you wouldn't care.
We don't want. Nobody
But-
needs to know about that.
Here we go. Number 2.
I kind of. The Hulk. Hulk.
That is incorrect.
All right. Let's see the.
Let me know. Now we can clear it up as we go. Okay,
Yes.
so if you need, do you need clear?
Let's clear it.
Okay. We'll
Not
go to
clear it all the way, but we got Avengers. Let me know if somebody in the chat gets it before me.
All right.
Where'd you go? All right. Is that cleared?
That is
Yes.
clear.
Ooh.
I am legend.
I can see two people.
No one in chat has gotten it just yet.
Can see Flash.
No, no, but I will tell you, you're in the
have
wheelhouse.
someone in the
Ooh,
chat
someone in the
that got
chat
it.
did get it right.
Who was it?
Amber Gramling with
What'd
with
she get?
the Batman.
Oh, that was going to be my next one.
It in fact was the Batman. Let me bring in
Good
this
job,
full image
Amber.
so that we can all
Oh,
see.
we got a bunch. Mike, you, Pastor Leo. You know what? In the chat, Mike is before Amber.
Was he?
Nah.
Oh, I guess my chat's not the same. Anyways.
Yes, but it was in fact Batman. So let me bring in the next one.
All right, this is the last one.
Last one.
You guys have won one, and I have won one. So let's see who the champion is going to be. Dan O got it, and Brad got it on Rumble.
All right, here is the last
Rumble
one.
rant.
What is that?
Iron Man.
Incorrect. Not even in the same boat.
All right, well, let's clear it up.
Clear it up? Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to just.
This does take a little second here to
just
clear
a
up.
second to clear it up. Oh, that was a big clear up.
it made it quite a bit more noticeable.
I can see. I mean, it's a guy.
What's behind him, though? What is that?
Is he smoking a cigar?
Oh, someone in the chat.
Jaws?
Tyler Gramling with Jaws.
I see it. I see it. I see the shark. Oh man, that's Captain Brody or Sheriff
Yes,
Brody.
let me bring in the full picture so we can all see.
Oh, but I said cigar. He's got a cigarette.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, close enough.
Close.
Do I win something?
Unfortunately, you do not. But Tyler, your gift is in the mail. Okay, so.
All right. Hey, guys, a couple of things. Don't forget, we're going to be here every Sunday night at 6 o'clock. We're going to do all kinds of fun things along the way. We got the Pastor Playground coming up in just next week or maybe the week after. We'll have to see what the weather does. Of course, we're going to do Tea with PT, trending topics on Google. We're hoping to make that one day. We're just getting started. Let me announce to you the winner of our first ever podcast giveaway for the month of February, which is a loving month. Our winner, can I have a drum roll, please? Producers.
We don't have a drum roll quite yet.
We're giving
We'll have
away-
it
We
next
do have
week.
this.
We have
Hold
we have a drum roll.
on.
Bottom blue.
Stop.
Bottom blue.
Oh. Before you start, you guys are producers. You know we're giving away a prize, and we don't have a drum roll?
I mean, we have.
That's weak. That's weak. All right. Anyways,
All right, here we go.
I'll do this.
Ooh, there we go.
And our winner is. And hey, are y'all going to put it in the chat same time?
No.
Jackie Cespedes. I apologize.
Jackie
Cespedes. I apologize, Jackie, for mispronouncing your name, but you are our winner. And to receive your prize, email me, troy@troygramling.com, and we will contact you and make sure that you get 2 nights at a Marriott-branded hotel. Thank you guys for participating in our first game. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't already, subscribe and share it with somebody. Be sure and leave a comment before you go. Comments help us so that we can get on that, what do you call that? Algorithm. That's what we call it.
The founders page.
The founders page. We want to get that algorithm going in both Rumble and YouTube so that we can impact more folks. Because our goal is just to build a community for us to hang out a little bit each Sunday night, have a lot of fun, talk about things that are important, and get to know one another. I'm so glad you guys tuned in tonight. I hope you have an incredible evening, an amazing week. By the way, in case you wondered, this week happens to be Steph's birthday. February the 22nd. I don't have any hidden money, so if you'd like to send me some so I can get her a birthday present she doesn't know about, that would be fine. God bless you guys. Remember, on Thursday, we have the podcast, and the broadcast is already up. God bless, and we'll see you next Sunday night live.